Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This piece of thread is it's probably over 40 years old. I brought it with me when I came from England, and I used to do this trick as a teenager. I haven't done it since, but I thought I'd try it out, see if you like it, right? And I need a piece of thread, just show my hands there. I need a piece of thread that's about as long as my, yeah, that should be. Yes, I need a long piece because it's going to represent my whole life. It's been a long life. Now, there's the thread, right? Now, everyone's life is made up of lots of small events. And those events sometimes influence the direction they take, or you go the opposite direction. Okay? So for instance, when I was 9 years old, I learned my very first magic trick. And here we are, over 40 years later, still doing the magic. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but hey, that was a big event for me. When I was 13, I wrote my very first computer program. And interestingly enough, that computer program was called IROMS, which stood for Information Retrieval on Magic Shows. So my very first program helped me for my magic. Again, I'm not sure if that's something to be proud of or embarrassed by, but it is what it is. Then, when I was 18, I went to college and I studied computer science. And I stayed there much longer than I expected. And I did pretty well. And when I got out, I got a great job. And I was very, very excited. And the job was going really, really well. But 2 years in, my boss, who I admired, he went to prison for bribery and corruption, and the company went down. This was not part of my plan, let me tell you that right now, when I joined. And so I decided that this was a great opportunity to get out of Dodge, so I moved to Texas. And I was working for IBM. Now when I was at IBM, things were going pretty well. I met my beautiful wife, Laurie, and shortly after that we had our first child. It was about 3 years, just in case, any worries here. And when my son was born, I realized I was spending too much time in the office. So I wanted to start working from home. So I started a new company, and with some friends, and this was in 1995. It was an internet company, and it was quite exciting. We're running out of thread here. Again, a little piece of thread at the end here. This company did really, really well, and for 5 years we kept growing and getting bigger, and it was exciting. And then the dot-com crash in 2001. Now you guys are probably all too young, apart from Dan maybe, to remember the dot-com. But it really was a shock, because we thought we were on track. And then within 3 months it all went away, and I was left with this tiny little thread. You see that? You can barely see it. And I thought, what am I going to do now? You know? And so with this little thread, I decided I'd start a new company called Digital Cheetah. And it was the smallest thread I had, but it's now lasted almost 20 years. And all these different threads all began, if you remember, from this little magic trick. And although it looks like these threads are all separate and disjoint, they're really all part of one thing. And in fact, we kind of join it on the thread here. You can see. Now, they really aren't separate. They're just one part of what I like to call my life. Nice. Thank you very much. Thank you.